2013 Ford Flex, and today we're going to be doing the rear brake pads and rotors. Let's get to it. Alright, rear brakes. I'm going to start by removing the rims. Obviously I have aftermarket rims on these, my 22-inch Stratas with aftermarket lug nuts, so I'm not going to be able to help you out with what they are to remove. But they're probably either 19 millimeters or 21 millimeter lug nuts. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and remove the caliper bolts right here and right here. They are 13 millimeters. And go ahead and slide your caliper off. If your caliper is difficult to take off, make sure you check your e-brake. Make sure you didn't accidentally put that on out of habit or something like that. Go ahead and remove our old hardware. And check your guide pins, make sure they're well lubricated. Wow, there is something crazy going on, like the 5th cop to fly past my shop. And then we can go ahead and remove our caliper mounting bolts. Go ahead and break these bolts loose. They are 15 millimeters. To remove the rotor, we're going to go ahead and remove this screw right here. It's held in with a T40 Torx bolt 40, and we're going to attach it to our little slap hammer or slap screwdriver here. Break that loose. Shake that rotor off. Let's go ahead and compress the rear piston. The boot right here on the piston, these can get stuck. So I usually like to give them just a little bit of spray with some PV Blaster or some WD-40, whatever you got, just to make sure they got a little bit of lubrication on there so that they don't twist, because the boot will be clamped onto the piston, and as you're spinning it back in, the boot will twist with it and eventually that boot will rip. And we're going to be using the number 6 die with our brake compressor tool, and this tool is used for the rear brakes when they have the integrated handbrake like ours does. This might be the first time the rear brake's ever been done on this. And with the caliper pressed all the way back in, go ahead, break our tool loose, back to soap. And remove it. There you go. You can see our piston is pressed all the way back in. And we'll go ahead and reinstall our new rotor. And put that down. Doesn't need to go down tight, it just needs to be down all the way, and give it just a little twist to squeeze it on tight, and you're good. And a very important next step is that your brand new rotors, when they're manufactured, they're covered in oil so that they don't rust while they're sitting in their boxes. You want to remove that oil or else it can depreciate the life of your brake pads, because your brake pads will actually absorb that oil and it makes the brake pads weaker. And you'll have a bunch of smoke and stuff like that. So you want to get rid of this oil before you put any brake pads on here. Get yourself a can of brake parts cleaner. Just give it a good coating. And get the back too. Don't need to go crazy, don't need to put a whole can on it. Just make sure you've got a good amount of spray on there and that oil will come right off. Grab your bracket. We're going to go ahead and install our brand new hardware. This hardware is fairly simple. You just start it right here on the edge and then you push it in like so. Grab your brake caliper and install your bolts. And get yourself some brake parts lube. I'm just going to put a tiny dot right in the middle of each of those pieces of hardware. This is the part where your brake pads are going to slide. So you want there just to be a little bit of lube, and just a tiny little dot is all you need. Any more of that and you risk the lube splashing onto your rotor. You don't want that. Go ahead and install our brand new brake pads. So, and place that caliper underneath. And if you've been keeping up on the video and you're at the same spot I am, then you've just replaced your brake pads and rotors on your Ford Flex. I knew you could do it. I didn't doubt it for a second. Quick notes, if you need help using that tool to compress these rear calipers with the integrated e-brake, I have a whole video on how to use that tool. I'll go ahead and link that down in the description. If you'd like to see more videos on this Ford Flex, go ahead and check out that video right there. I made that one just for you. And if this video helped you out, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see y'all next time.